Alright, what's up everybody, and welcome to another edition of Late Great Game Reviews. I put this video up, I did it from my webcam on my laptop and it was crap, so I basically threw that one out and now I'm making the same review, of a great game that I've been wanting to play for a long time. Finally got a PlayStation Vita. Finally got a chance to play it. The game is Uncharted Golden Abyss. To just get right into it, it's an amazing, amazing game. I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted franchise already, and this one is just another notch in the belt of the many great adventures of Nathan Drake. It's an absolutely stellar game. It's actually Ben Studios is taking over the reins this time for Naughty Dog, and they absolutely prove that they can hold the franchise up to the standards that Naughty Dog has created, which is quite a feat. Nathan Drake is back with his signature wit, charm, humor. He's accompanied by a supporting cast. Which let's just describe the cast. The main supporting cast is, first of all, your main comrade and partner this time around is a woman named Chase. She's sweet, but not exactly. There's not exactly a whole lot of personality there. She's definitely no Elena Fisher or Chloe Fraser. And there's also a guy named Dante who is a complete douchebag. Quite an irritating character, honestly. There's very little substance to him. He is honestly just a useless, idiotic windbag, and you get to know who he is right from the get-go in the prologue of the game. But there's also another spoiler alert. Another character, series regular that appears that I was very happy about, and again, spoilers. It is Sully. He appears late in the game, but when he appears, he brings that classic Sully class to it, and you get that classic great back and forth banter between he and Drake. And it's really refreshing because the rest of the characters, even the villain Guero, is quite forgettable. The rest of the characters, are not terrible, but they're pretty forgettable, honestly. So when Sully shows up, it's great, and it's also nice to have someone that helps in combat, because when you're in combat with Dante or especially Chase, she doesn't do guns. Which isn't exactly the best idea for a treasure hunter in the line of work that Nathan Drake and the gang are in, but there it is, and that's okay. But she doesn't help you with ammo. She doesn't help spotting out the positions, giving you the play-by-play of where each of the enemies are and things like that. So that's a bit frustrating. But when Sully appears again, everything's right as race. So the gameplay is great. For anyone who's played the Uncharted franchise, you'll be happy to know that most of the controls on a normal PlayStation 3 controller are exactly the same on the PlayStation Vita. With a few variations in terms of the touch controls for grenades and for some of the combat. Actually, the hand-to-hand combat is really, really well done. It's always well done in Uncharted, but they've taken it a notch higher with Golden Abyss, because you basically use square to melee as you normally do, but then to use finishers, you use the touch functions of the Vita. It's really, really easy, really fun, and it's a great way to have finishers, and it makes the combat feel even more fluid than it already does, which is great. Yeah, and the gameplay is amazing. The traversing, Drake's normal climbing abilities are well intact. The traversal system is very, very fluid. You can either use choose to use the touch controls or the classic just press X to keep going up and circle to go down. All that stuff is there, and you have the choice between the two, between the touch and the normal way to do it, and whichever you choose is great. It's nice to have that choice, definitely. Let's see. Yeah, obviously Nolan North and Richard McGonagall are great. The voice acting is great as always. Another thing about the gameplay that I wanted to point out is that I've never had a problem with the aiming when you pick up a gun and you aim it at an enemy. I've never had a problem with the aiming in Uncharted. I know a lot of fans have, and that's been less and less of a complaint as the series has continued to improve on that aiming function, but this one I did have a little bit of a problem with. It's completely steady. It's super steady, just like it is in Uncharted 3. The only thing I had a problem was the sensitivity. I had to adjust that a bit, but once I adjusted it just a little bit, it was perfect, smooth as butter, and it was great. So that was that one little thing. Another thing that some fans may or may not like. It definitely does not sour the game in any way, but it's the absence of one of the staples of the series, which is the set pieces. Those big, amazing set pieces, where there's the train level in Uncharted 2, or the plane level in Uncharted 3, or so many other different levels and set pieces in those games, but those are absent for the most part. There are a couple of smaller ones, and a couple of ones that happen in cutscenes, but for the most part they're gone, which is a little bit of a letdown, but trust me, there's so much to do in this game. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. Uncharted soundtracks, again, I can't stop praising these games enough. The soundtracks are always great, and this one is no exception. It is pulse-pounding, enthralling, and absolutely epic. You're gonna get some tracks on there that that really make you want to download the soundtrack. I am definitely gonna download the soundtrack in the next couple of days. Yeah, and the music really complements and adds a lot of atmosphere to the story, which is amazing. I'm not going to get into it too much because there are lots of layers of this story, but it's Nathan Drake going through the Central American jungle, looking for a lost city, and I'll leave it at that because it's really fun to figure out the mystery of it all. And speaking of mysteries, there are plenty of mysteries to solve on this, whether it's the historical mysteries that you get from the artifacts you pick up, and this is they use the touch functions really well in terms of collecting treasures. There's different treasure sets to collect. There's artifacts. There's charcoal rubbings. There's photographs to be taken. There's just so many different things to do, and the charcoal rubbings that never fails to amaze me and excite me every single time I do it. So yeah, I mean, you really feel more like an archaeological explorer than ever before. You're just, yeah. You're sifting through and you're putting puzzles. You have the run-of-the-mill puzzles that you do in Uncharted, but you're also using the touch functions to put together old land deeds and old maps and all these sorts of things, and you really get a sense of the history. And another great thing is that each artifact and each trophy and each treasure that you find, you get the history surrounding it, history surrounding that treasure, which is great. It's one of the things they actually did in the Tomb Raider reboot as well, which I also love, and it's just really a great way to just flesh out even more of the knowledge, the vast array of knowledge that Nathan Drake has about ancient civilizations and cultures and treasure in general. So that's something that Naughty Dog hasn't done, and it's a nice. Bend really does a really good job of just building upon what Naughty Dog does and making it even better. Um, the environments are incredible, ranging from there's so many, but ranging from you got ancient ruins and aqueducts, worn torn villages. You've got mountains and rushing rapids. There's so many different environments, and they look great. The graphics are amazing. I mean, they rival Drake's Fortune. And sometimes they honestly look even better. There are moments where the graphics do look even better than Drake's Fortune, which is extremely impressive for the Vita. There's one moment in the game that I want to talk about. It was just a really, I mean, I was already sold on the game. It's well into the game, but I was already sold on it. But it just wowed. It wowed me. It wowed the hell out of me. There's a part where you find a document, and the only way to see the ink on the document is to hold it up to light. And you actually have to hold the Vita up to a bright light. I thought it was heat sensitive. I tried a few things. It's actually light sensitive. And you actually hold your Vita up to a bright light, you move it around, and you start to see the letters. And that, to me, was like, wow. That level of just interactivity, and that blew me away. And there's so many moments like that in the game, but that was one of the ones that was very, very special to me. Let's see. Other things. Well, I mean, you know what? I've talked enough, and the fact is it's a great game for any Uncharted fan who is waiting for Uncharted 4 and hasn't, and for whatever reason hasn't played Golden Abyss yet. It's a great game. And for any fans who are just coming into the Uncharted franchise, or not sure if they want to get into the Uncharted franchise, you could honestly start here. Start from Golden Abyss, since it's actually a prequel to Drake's Fortune. You could start from here and then go through the games, and I think that would be a great experience. But I recommend it to really anyone. It's a great adventure, and it's just another great adventure for Nathan Drake and the gang. So I am giving Uncharted Golden Abyss for the PS Vita an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely play this game, because it is well worth it. Alright, guys and girls, see you next time.